What's up, everybody? Professor Live. I'm the professor, also known as Spider-Man Basketball. This is my good friend who actually helped me co-produce Spider-Man Basketball and really helped majority of the way. Also directed it and actually came up with the original idea. I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Robert SetFree Monroe, also known as AKA Deadpool. I played Deadpool in the series, and like Professor said here, the director and producer of the series. So we figured we'd give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at everything that we do and kind of some commentary. I'll let Greg kind of take it over and talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch Spider-Man Basketball episode 1. We actually did this, almost 4 years ago now.
It's been almost 4 years because we're talking about July of
2013.
Yeah, 2013. Yeah, so it's been a while.
And funny enough, the series actually made it look like it's in New York. We actually shot it in Los Angeles. And funny enough, it was on the hottest day of the year. So wearing this spandex suit out there as Spider-Man was definitely more than an experience. But
yeah, it was probably 100 and some odd degrees outside, and then another probably 115 degrees in that suit that you were in. So
still at like 6:30 p.m. when we started shooting, because anyway, there was a lot to it. But we'll check out the video now, we'll react to it, and then we'll talk to you guys a little bit afterwards. All right, we'll start it right now.
So I don't necessarily know if all of these were, they weren't always done in order, so this wasn't necessarily the first guy to play, was it? That wasn't the first guy.
The dude with the Durant jersey actually was the first guy,
okay.
But not all the clips were exactly in order, stylized. But literally this whole thing, how long were we out there? Like 20, it was only like 20 minutes. I swear, we believe that God's hand was definitely on this. I'm not gonna lie, I probably didn't miss a shot.
No.
And no trick I tried didn't work this day.
And it was funny because when we went out there originally, there wasn't hardly anybody there. And almost out of nowhere, you see all the kids kind of in the background. And they were more enamored by what was going on than the other guys were. The kids were just, it was amazing to see Spider-Man playing basketball out there.
Another funny story. You know what the funny story is? Nobody in this whole park, now mind you, we hadn't done the series yet, so nobody knew that I was the guy dressed as Spider-Man, except for one dude, and that's the guy in the Durant jersey. He actually asked me midway through the game. He said, "Hey, did you play for M1?"
I didn't even know this.
He was the only dude that knew somehow, and I was like, wow.
Okay, so to cut you off, if you hear me in the background right there, somebody asked me if I was with the crew there, and so I basically told them I wasn't there because we weren't sure at that point whether we wanted people to know that we were pranking them or doing this or not.
You're a horrible liar.
Yeah, so 30 million people saw me live, have to repent and all that, so it's awesome. No, but afterwards I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm with the production.
Yeah.
This guy was super excited, I remember, to get in there and play you after the other guy was done.
He was physical, he was playing around. But he was going for everything, so it worked out.
Well, and what's funny about this is, and you said this before too, is that there was a ton of footage that we didn't use. There was a lot that was done that day that we had to just pick the best stuff.
I literally could have made three-minute highlight mixes from this day. We were out there like 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It definitely meant to be. This guy was not happy. This guy with the long hair, especially after this. You know what I enjoyed? One of the things I enjoyed most about this video was the fact that this guy was like voluntary commentary for the entire video.
Oh yeah. He was sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
And he kept on asking, like, who is this guy? Is he professional? You know, who is this guy in the suit?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of what they don't see on this, too, is that, obviously, I'm not to cut that off, but the kids loved it, but they don't see the fact that, like, this is the first time you went out in that suit. Like, you hadn't played in it previous to that.
No, and I'll talk about that, too. So, funny enough, we talked about in the beginning how it was the hottest day of year in Los Angeles. We didn't anticipate that. We thought it was going to be cool. We hit up a park, we film it, we're done. No. Driving around all day. Remember we were looking for...
Yeah, looking for parks. Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm in this guy's passenger side of his car dressed in the full costume because my first costume we got was cheaper. Like the one we do now is a custom like movie replica suit.
Yeah.
The first one was a little bit cheaper and it was a onesie. So once you put it on, it takes forever to take off, and somebody has to help you. So I was already pre-dressed. We start driving around for a couple hours. I'm like, Rock, you unzip this. This is unbelievable. So about 6:30 that night, we finally find a court with a couple people because it finally cools down, and I think the sun went behind some of the trees that were there, so there's a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
But it was perfect because there were a bunch of kids on the playground, if you remember from that day. So what I did was, or actually what we did was, he went around to the court first to sort of like blend in with the crowd, so that when I come out there and he films, it doesn't look like it's a production.
Yeah.
So when I get out, I waited about 10 minutes, burning up with the suit on, back again. I go out there and I walk right through the playground because it's perfect for all the kids. So the kids immediately are hyped, like, oh, Spider-Man! Yeah. They're jumping around. So I'm like, come on to the court. I got the basketball. They're like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hoop? I say, yeah, just come on, let's see.
Yep.
So I go, and people are shooting around, and I strike up the game. I ask them like, hey, do you guys want to play King of the Court? And I remember a couple of the guys I was playing, especially doing the Durangers, they're looking at me like, is this guy on drugs?
Yeah. I remember that because everybody kind of stopped and was like, is this guy for real? Is he really going to play in this suit? Yeah, no, I remember that too. And not only that, but I also remember that when you started playing, all the kids basically, like you said, surrounded the court because it was Spider-Man. And it's kind of like just a recognizable character. But talk about just the ability to be able to play in the suit, because I think a lot of people don't understand that, is that you're basically playing with gloves on and with limited vision too.
Yeah, I can't. The funny thing is, we believe God Him was definitely on this project. I can't barely even see out of the suit. If you notice, I didn't shoot any 3-pointers because with that old suit, that wasn't even possible. We can't even see the hoop from the 3-point line. Yeah. And then also the spandex around. I don't know if you've ever had tried to play in like snow gloves or something like that. This was worse because it was gloves, but they're slippery. So I can't see. I can't really get a good grip on the ball. I couldn't do a spin move. That was impossible because the ball would fly out. And then also you can't breathe because I'm breathing right through the spandex. So I only have like 20 minutes comfortable. Anything past that,
you're done. And we're talking about that. Literally had to have been the hottest day of the year.
Oh,
it couldn't have been any hotter than that.
So funny. I remember after that, walking to the car because we act like we were separate. So I go first. Kids are following me. I tell them all like, hey, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back. Just wait. So I'm trying to ditch them. We get around. I get around back to the car. I can't get the onesie off. I'm trying to unzip it myself. I'm reaching, going like this, because the zipper was back here. And I remember the sun was so bright I couldn't see a thing because I could barely see anyway.
Yeah.
And I remember just one kid was somewhere in some apartment buildings that were behind the parking lot, and I couldn't even see him. And he's like, "Hey, Spider-Man!
That's hilarious.
Are you getting in that car?" He said a whole bunch of stuff to me, and I'm just like, what is going on? I can't get it. I was so uncomfortable. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that people don't understand. I got to understand that later on down the road playing Deadpool and being in the costume, that I think most people don't get the limitations that you have playing inside of a costume as opposed to actually just having your bare hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it just happened to work out incredibly. It's definitely memorable.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, totally.
32 million views today. The funny thing is, you guys will never know this, before 2013 and before this video, which was a pivotal turning point in my, I would say career, but really just for digital, I used to get decent views, 50K to 200K. I maybe one that was higher than that, but that was the average range.
Yeah.
So when we uploaded this, we were just trying to break the normal average. If this would have got a couple 100K or whatever, I would have been content and be like, hey, that was a win.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, it was like 7 or 8 million in a week, and then it's never stopped climbing since then. So I just want to thank you guys for your support. I'm definitely thankful. I feel grateful and definitely humbled that you guys continue to support the series. So we'll continue to do some reaction videos for the rest of the series, but we want to start with this one.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's kind of like the origin of the whole thing and how it all got started, and it was kind of interesting. I'll let Gray talk about it as we kind of end the video, but we'd known each other through the street ball circuit for a while. We didn't really know each other on a personal level, but then we started working with each other on this, and Gray, you can kind of go from there as how the idea came about with everything that took place. But.
Oh yeah, so originally the idea came about from trying to break the normal view range that we were getting, which is 100,000, 200,000 I never had a video that was kind of like reaching the mainstream. Started my YouTube channel like 2009, and a lot of people followed it because they knew me from the ESPN show and one Street Ball. And so Rob, he was more up on con culture and the whole
comic book nerd.
Comic book nerd, knows all the
Star Wars.
Goes to Comic-Con every year faithfully. So anyway, he knew about that demographic. Me being from the hoop world, like those are two different worlds. We found out.
Yeah.
I think hoopers like superheroes, but they're not too into comic culture. So I would watch Spider-Man movies, but I didn't know what a big market that is and how big it especially is in the digital world.
Yeah.
So Rob's idea was like to combine both worlds, basketball and comic book. And he was like, I remember originally it was like, why don't you wear a superhero mask and go play people one-on-one? But we graduated that idea to
Spider-Man.
Wearing Spider-Man. The reason Spider-Man is because A, it's a cool character, unbelievably recognized, but also it covers the entire body, so the prank is better because you don't know who it was that you just played against or that you just saw play against people.
Yeah, and he's always been basically my favorite comic book character, so that's one of
mine as well.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a no-brainer, and like we said before, man, God definitely had his hand in doing all this stuff because we talked about it before. We went out within one day, and all of this stuff happened. I remember we uploaded the next morning. It was like, boom. You know, we did not expect that. We did not expect
Definitely
that.
not. Like everywhere I've been around the country, everywhere I've been around the world, there's not one country I can go to where they don't know about the video or support the series. So once again, thank you guys. We're humbled.
Absolutely.
Definitely thankful. And we want to continue to give you guys more of this. So stay tuned for more reaction videos and also part 9.
Part 9 and part 10.
And part 10.
And part 10. So it's coming soon.
Coming soon.
Check out the video link below, you guys, for other things, and we'll check you soon.
Yep.